It is gloomy and wet. The National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for the Garden Isle and Ni'ihau until Friday at 6 p.m. Our team has declared a first alert weather day for Kauai as we keep an eye on the potential for flooding. Drew Davis is tracking the latest conditions. Drew?
Aloha, Ashley. Again, we have that first alert weather day only in effect for Kauai right now. We're expecting some heavy rainfall and potentially some scattered showers moving down the rest of the island chain and even a few thunderstorms out there. Again, the flood watch is only for Kauai and Ni'ihau until 6 p.m. on Friday. And just take a look at this storm that's moving just to the north of us. You can very clearly see the counterclockwise rotation with it. It's moving off towards the southwest, which is a little bit atypical for these types of storms. And then there's the front moving slowly down the island chain. It's going to stall around Oahu and Kauai and then start moving back towards the northwest over the next couple of days. Zooming in a little bit closer towards Oahu, just north of Wahiawa, and moving up towards Kahuku, we've got this cell that's moving in. This line of showers that was moving into the southern shore of Oahu kind of fell apart just as it got onto the island. And over on Kauai, the radar is actually down on the southern shore of Kauai, so we're not seeing the full picture out there, but we can see from the Molokai radar some showers just to the south of the island and a few showers popping up, moving in from the south over on Maui. I'll give you a full breakdown of our full forecast coming up.
Drew? On Maui, Paia Elementary School is closed for a second day because of that nearby brush fire. The blaze broke out Tuesday afternoon and at last check had burned about 380 acres. Fire officials tell us it's about 70% contained, and these pictures show just how close those flames got to a home and to Paia Elementary, which is currently covered in soot. Despite the danger from the fire, the county says about 1 in 3 residents ignored evacuation orders when they were issued on Tuesday.
They came screaming around here, evacuate, evacuate, everybody have to evacuate. I look at my wife, but I'm not leaving yet.
Grab whatever we need, and then I said, hey, I'm leaving. And then I think I was the only one evacuating. I mean, before they said to evacuate, I just evacuated myself and said, I'm going, this don't look good.
No major damage or injuries have been reported. Hawaiian Electric says it restored nearly all 500 customers whose power was shut off on Tuesday. The White House says it will fire federal government employees rather than furlough them if the government shuts down next week. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
The Trump administration is threatening mass firings at federal agencies if the government shuts down next week. In a memo obtained by CBS News, the Office of Management and Budget directs agencies to use this opportunity to consider reduction in force notices for all employees in programs, projects, or activities that are set to run out of funding by October 1st with no other source of funding and do not align with the president's priorities.
This is all caused by the Democrats. They asked us to do something that's totally unreasonable.
Democrats accused Trump's budget director of using a threat of layoffs for leverage.
As a negotiating tactic, our response to Russ' vote is simple: get lost.
Earlier this week, President Trump canceled a meeting with Democratic leaders that was scheduled for Thursday, saying he doesn't believe the talks would be productive. House Republicans proposed a short-term funding extension with millions for enhanced security measures for lawmakers, the judiciary, and executive branch in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. The measure failed in the Senate.
Having a clear continuing resolution has been something that's happened 13 times in a row with bipartisan support.
Democrats want to roll back cuts to health programs like Medicaid and extend Affordable Care Act subsidies set to expire at the end of the year.
At least 20 million Americans are about to experience dramatic increases in their health care premiums, copays, and deductibles.
Congress is currently adjourned and there are no votes scheduled as of now in the House before the October 1st shutdown deadline. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
New at noon, veteran state lawmaker Della Al-Baladi announced today she plans to run for Congress, the latest challenger for Ed Case's District 1 House seat.
I'm doing this so that we protect the people of Hawaii. And right now, there's a lot of things hurting the people of Hawaii. My agenda is simple. Lower costs for Hawaii's families, stop Donald Trump's dangerous policies, and protect what makes Hawaii special.
Belatti, who has represented the Makiki Punch Bowl area for nearly 20 years, will also be challenging State Senator Jarrett Keohokalole, who announced his run back in July. Congressman Case has come under fire from many Democrats who question his voting record. Case has defended his position. The primary election is set for August 8th. A 32-year-old man who has been taken into custody because he's accused of attacking a man with a brick in Waikiki. It happened early Tuesday morning at a bus stop on Kuhio and Paul-Kalani Avenues. The 65-year-old victim was found with significant injuries to his head and was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Now, police also believe the suspect stole the victim's belongings. Attempted murder and robbery charges are pending. A Hawaii Island man wanted on multiple arrest warrants is now in police custody. 20-year-old Noah A.K. Lolohea is accused of threatening another man with a gun and firing it multiple times earlier this month. He was arrested yesterday following a search of his home in Hawaiian Paradise Park. A 28-year-old woman who police found at his home was also arrested. She's accused of hindering prosecution. Well, even before this week's spike in traffic fatalities on Oahu, officials were ramping up messaging and methods to make people safer. As Daryl Huff reports, one idea is getting more law enforcement on the street by teaming up state and county agencies.
Government officials have been promising to crack down on bad driving. They've passed tougher laws and pleaded for the public to show aloha on the roads. But out here on the streets, it doesn't feel like people's behavior has gotten any better.
And I drive around, and I look and I see people's behaviors in cars, and I see people running red lights, and I see sometimes people speeding in places where they shouldn't. And you sit there and go, why?
Like, why is this guy darting through traffic right outside police headquarters? And why are parents giving kids high-speed electric vehicles? Some blame lack of enforcement, and in his recent executive order on traffic safety, the governor promotes beefing up enforcement with state sheriffs and money to help the counties.
Over time, we could move to kind of using the DLE, the Department of Law Enforcement, in partnership with the police to do more kind of highway patrol.
If we can enforce or get more officers out there on motorcycles, speed traps, whatever you want to call them, I'm going to be a strong advocate for that.
The sheriffs are not going to take over for what the police departments are doing, but they can enhance their operations. If they can't be at a certain location that we're seeing data suggest that is a high potential for crashes, the sheriffs could go out there instead.
The state also wants to expand powers to seize vehicles and jail chronic offenders.
We're looking at trying to stem this recidivism in bad behaviors, excessive speeds, drunk driving, people driving without licenses, people driving with tickets, with hundreds of tickets on their system.
Honolulu police support that, but say the root of many accidents is inattention and distraction.
We're not going to enforce our way out of this. Yes, we are giving out citations and we are conducting more traffic engagements with the public. But we really want the public to understand that they have a big responsibility in keeping these numbers down.
It really could be a while before any of the ideas in the governor's order take effect. So for now, it's still up to all of us to keep each other safe on the roads. Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Daryl. A new permitting system meant to speed up the process in Honolulu has had the opposite effect. It's called H&N Build, and it launched on August 4th. The Department of Planning and Permitting says staff had to manually input accounts as it replaced the old system, and because of that, only 352 building permits have been issued, compared to more than 1,900 for the same time frame last year. Solar permits are on a tight timeline. 721 have been issued compared to more than 1,000 back in 2024. The federal deadline for solar tax credits is also looming.
There's incredible frustration. We were promised a system that would be much more efficient, be much more user-friendly, and as it turns out, it's anything but that.
This is having a really big impact. We had a really good instant online permit process with city and county before this, and we're hoping to get back to that and actually improve that even more.
DPP leaders plan to go before council members today to brief them on the new system. Ahead on This Is Now, authorities released new details about the 29-year-old man who opened fire at a Texas ICE facility before turning the gun on himself. Plus, the state moves to expand Hawaii's air ambulance services as a new company takes flight. There's increased security at ICE facilities and detention centers nationwide after yesterday's deadly shooting in Texas. The Mexican consulate says one of the injured victims was a Mexican citizen. Ken Molestina has the details from Dallas.
One day after a sniper opened fire outside an ICE field office in Dallas, FBI Director Kash Patel detailed some of what an investigation into the gunman's life has uncovered. In a social media post, Patel wrote, investigators found a note that said in part, quote, hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror. The FBI says the suspect, 29-year-old Joshua Yan, also looked up details of the Charlie Kirk shooting and information related to ICE facilities and agents. A day earlier, Patel posted this picture of bullets with anti-ICE written on one. In Dallas, law enforcement officials offered an update to the investigation.
First, I want to point out that one of these notes or papers, the sniper explicitly states, yes, it was just me.
According to DHS, Yan shot 3 people who had been detained, killing one of them and critically wounding the others. Denises Robleto heard gunfire while in her car outside the center. Her mother was at a scheduled check-in with immigration officials. She says they didn't know who was firing. Some fear the shooting and other similar attacks will have an effect on those pursuing legal status.
I know a number of immigrants are going to be a lot more hesitant to make these check-ins, to go down to the courthouse.
The acting ICE director says the gunman had no way of knowing detainees were in the vehicle and was just indiscriminately shooting. Ken Molestina, CBS News, Dallas.
Only on Hawaii News Now, we ride along with the state's newest air ambulance. Annalisa Burgos takes us aboard and reports on the push to provide more emergency flights.
No sirens or lights are needed on this ambulance because this medical team avoids traffic.
So we just got a call request out of Lihue over to Honolulu.
Optimum Air is Hawaii's newest inter-island air ambulance, with every flight staffed with at least one critical care nurse and paramedic. The company's CEO, Devin Isma, is also a nurse who provides mid-air care.
I worked almost every ER on the island and got to know the healthcare system a little.
After dropping off medical equipment on Maui, we get a call from Molokai. A patient with a blood clot is having trouble breathing. After arriving at the airport, the medical team waits for a taxi to take them to the hospital and pick up the patient.
So we have a cardiac monitor that'll allow us to monitor blood pressure, heart rhythms, oxygen saturation, and respirations. This is a transport pump, so medication infusions we're able to deliver just like in the ICU while we're in transport. We have our medications. We have a pretty robust selection of meds for patients, anything from blood pressure monitoring, regulating, to pain medicine and sedation.
Once the patient is on board, it's wheels up back to Oahu. The State Department of Health says on average 7 patients a day need emergency air transport. For the last 3 years, Hawaii Life Flight was the state's only private air ambulance. After a deadly crash in 2022, the company was grounded for nearly a month, highlighting the need for more options. Experts say costs and a lack of facilities make it a challenging business.
Is that we don't have a coordinated hub for air ambulance right now. Basically, what happens if a doctor or a nurse or a case manager is trying to schedule an air ambulance, they have to call around to each of the carriers to see if, which aircraft, either a helicopter or a fixed wing, may be available.
But the DOH says that's changing as it moves toward statewide oversight and expansion of air medical services.
We're bringing in and going to establish emergency transport center so that we can start to, over the next year, monitor, triage, and capabilities and ensure that patients are getting to the right place in a timely manner.
Right now, Maui and Hawaii counties have dedicated helicopters for emergencies, and the Hawaii National Guard and Coast Guard can be activated as needed. In addition to Optimum Air, Life Flight Network is set to launch operations on the island of Hawaii by the end of the year.
It's our belief that patients should not be limited to the services that they're able to receive just because of where they live.
We all love what we do. We love taking care of patients, and I think it definitely shows in the care that we provide. For us, it's kind of a personal mission.
As for the patient from Molokai, they're expected to make a full recovery. Annalisa Burgos, Hawaii News Now.
And stick around. Coming up after the break, we'll give you another breakdown of the first alert weather day. A flood watch is currently up for portions of Kauai and Niihau. The details coming up.
First Alert weather with Drew Davis.
All right, let's take a look outside. Again, we've got that first alert weather day that's in effect for Kauai and Ni'ihau because of scattered showers, some isolated downpours, and even a chance for some thunderstorms out there. And a flood watch, again, is up for Kauai and Ni'ihau until 6 p.m. on Friday. A quick look at our first alert futurecast, just showing you what's going on, at least as we're going forward over the next couple of days. We're going to take this hour by hour. So as we're going forward throughout this afternoon, you're still seeing some rainfall, potentially some heavy rainfall in between the islands. Again, this is kind of a harder thing to forecast for because we don't have the Kauai radar in service right now. So we're really only seeing the tops of the cells out there from the Molokai radar. And as we're going into later this evening, the rainfall that we're seeing over Oahu right now starts to retrograde a little bit back towards the northwest and stalling over Kauai throughout Friday, and then going even further northwest as we're going into Saturday. A few pop-up showers are possible over Maui County and Hawaii Island, like we're seeing right now, because of the lighter winds out there and the southerly winds just introducing a lot of moisture and a lot of instability into the atmosphere. We're actually seeing southerly winds in Kahului around 21 miles per hour. So somewhat breezy Kona winds out there. And as we're going forward over the next couple of days, you're going to continue to see the Kona winds sticking around. Then we start to see the slight return of the trade winds as we're going into Saturday and Sunday. And again, here's the system that's moving to the north of us, the counterclockwise rotation of it, very indicative of it being an organized system out there. And then we've got the front that's kind of stalled right now in between Kauai and Oahu. Zooming in a little bit closer, again, the cells that we were tracking that were just north of Wahiawa starting to move up towards the north shore and near Kahuku. Not as much rainfall across the rest of the island. Again, the Kauai radar is down right now. We're not seeing the full picture over on the Garden Isle, but from some of our live cams, we are seeing some rainfall over near Hanalei and some showers just off of the south shore of the island. Over the West Maui Mountain, we do have some showers that have been developing, moving in towards Kahului, and some rainfall over near Kaunakakai. And then Hawaii Island's been relatively dry over the last hour or so. Our surf and shoreline forecast for this afternoon: north-facing shores around 4 to 6 feet, east-facing shores around 4 to 6, seeing a small north-northeast pulse. And again, we're seeing a south swell that's going to be moving in throughout Friday, and a northwest swell that's going to be moving in throughout Saturday, and potentially even some more swells moving our way as we're going into the beginning of next week. Outside of that, we've been tracking Hurricane Narda, which is a Category 1 out in the eastern Pacific. It's not going to impact us, but it's still a reminder that it is hurricane season out there, and we need the rainfall that we are getting across the state. We've got drought that's developing, pretty prevalent drought across portions of the state. Here's your 7-day forecast. Mahalo to Jock for sending this in. Thursday and Friday, we have highlighted in red. Again, it is a first alert weather day for Kauai through tomorrow with that flood watch up. Typical trade wind weather expected to return throughout next week. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break. All right, time for some good news now. After years away, a familiar face is back at the Waikiki Aquarium.
A beloved Hawaiian monk seal has returned to his island home. Casey Lunn went to see how he's settling in.
Aloha from the Waikiki Aquarium. This is an exciting time. Hawaii Lona back home here after really trekking across the Pacific. He was in California, in the Sunshine State on the West Coast, helping the folks there with some research, and now he's back home. His tank here, his environment got renovated. It's nice and new, and they've done a lot to improve it. He's playing with his toy over there while he's slapping that thing around, really putting on a show for us. I want to talk to Dadia Ellis, who's with us. She's a public information specialist, also does events for Waikiki Aquarium. And we've got a big event. Before you get to that, you've got a little Hawaii Lona plush toy there, right?
Yes. So as you guys can see there, Hoa is playing one of his enrichment toys. One of the ways that you guys can support the aquarium, we have the Adopt a Monk Seal. So it's $50 to adopt this little guy. It's a plushie. It comes with a special personalized vest that says Adopt at the Waikiki Aquarium. So all the funds that we generate with those type of toys and plushies, we use to for research, education, and to purchase some enrichment toys, as you guys can see for Hoa.
Like and then we want to mahalo, because earlier this morning on Sunrise we had Martha, who was the seal biologist out here. Tell us a little bit about what's happening Saturday as we look around, and it might be hard for us to get an angle of a Hawaii Lona there, but he really loves that toy.
Yeah,
he's excited to welcome all of his fans back to the aquarium because people know him. You worked here long enough to be when he was here prior to when he went to California.
When he first came in, it was very nice to have him here. I watched his first cultural blessing. If you guys want to join us this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., we're going to be having an amazing event for him. It's his homecoming bash. We're going to have partners from all over the islands, our friends from Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology, our friends from UH Sea Grant, our friends from Hawaii Marine Animal Response. We're going to have craft for the kids, some chalk art, face painting, educational feeds, the touching pool. So if you guys want to stop by from 9 to 2, we'll be here until 5 p.m., but the festivities are until 2 p.m. And we're going to have a cultural blessing at 10:30 a.m. if you guys want to join us for that as well.
Very good. All that's happening again from 9 to 2 at Saturday right here at the Waikiki Aquarium. Plan ahead because Aloha Festival is also going to be happening around this time. So just think about that. But you enjoy both of them. That's wonderful.
Yes.
People will be down here and a lot to check out. There's always something new at the aquarium. If you want to learn more about their hours of operation, ticket sales, all that stuff, volunteer opportunities. It takes a lot of volunteers to make this happen every year. All the operations that they do, sharing all this wonderful nature with folks. That's all at HawaiiNewsNow.com. We'll send things back into the studio for now.
Thank you, Case. He was lucky to see the monk seal in action because usually they like to sleep.
Yeah, he was having fun there.
That's right.
Here's a live look out over on the Garden Isle. We've got that cold front moving in. Honolulu Bay, again, we've got a first alert weather day in effect for Kauai and a flood watch that's going to continue until 6 p.m. on Friday.
Thanks for watching.